Majestic, Marie, and Alora. Got the wrestling world right here, no need to go far. All girls podcast, bringing vibes so grand. Talking power bombs and peaches, we've got the upper hand. With a smile, positivity, and tales of the ring. From Eddie Kingston's moves to each title swing, we're here to cheer, laugh, and maybe even cry. Join us on this ride, let's kiss that heel goodbye. Peaches and power bombs, let's start the show, where legends come to dance and superstars glow. Listeners, come closer, hear the stories flow. With Majestic, Marie, and Alora, watch your fandom grow. Every episode's a celebration, moments that we hold. No storyline too big, no champion too bold. For the love of the sport, for each crowd's thunder, wrestling's in our hearts, ever full of wonder. Every episode's a celebration, moments that we hold. No storyline too big, no champion too bold. For the love of the sport, for each crowd's thunder, wrestling's in our hearts, ever full of wonder. So raise your signs high as we speak the truth of epic rivalries and glory of youth. From Eddie's grit to the Diva's reign, in every bout there's joy amidst the pain. Oh, peaches and power bombs, let's start the show, where legends come to dance and superstars glow. Listeners, come closer, hear the stories flow. With Majestic, Marie, and Alora, watch your fandom grow. Watch your fandom grow.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Peaches and Power Bombs. I am Majestic Marie, alongside with Miss Alora Presley. Hello, everybody. And we have a very special guest with us, the legendary Princess Victoria, former women's WWE Tag Team Champion. And we are so happy to have her for our special Women's History Month episode. So welcome, Miss Victoria.
Welcome back. Thank you, and this is a great honor, and I appreciate you ladies doing this. I really do. It is a great honor. So how's everybody tonight?
Doing pretty good.
We're hanging in there.
Yeah.
Bundling up.
Yes, bundling up in our crazy weather because, we have 75-degree one day, and then the next day at breakfast you have tornadoes, and then by lunch you have snow flurries, and it's all over the place right now. Lovely spring.
Right. I don't know who made Mother Nature mad, but they need to get on their knees and apologize now.
Right. Absolutely. Please. Hands in the air, please.
Right.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say right quick, we got someone that commented, is a good friend of mine, Julian. He's my go-to when I need to ask a question about old school wrestling. He's my go-to, along with another follower of ours, Shane. So good to see you here, Julian.
Oh, and Shane is another old school fan because he always talks about Eddie Gilbert and everybody from Memphis. So,
oh yeah,
Terry Funk. His favorite is Terry Funk. So,
Terry was a great guy. He, you couldn't ask for a better soul in your life. He was a friend of mine, and that was one of the guys that passed away. That one hit me hard. You know.
Yeah.
It's getting now to where a lot of the people that I came up in the business with, there's not many of us left.
I know.
You know, it is so sad that I think out of the people that I came up with in the Northwest, there's me, Velvet, Eric Embry knew me, but he left the territory before I started wrestling. But it seems like everybody else is gone. I mean, from the Northwest, they're gone. Yeah. And there's times I don't want to turn on Facebook because I don't want to see the RIP.
Right.
You know, it's a shame. And a lot of them have passed. You know, when they say that a wrestler gives his life to wrestling, they're not kidding.
No, absolutely not.
You know, they're not. I mean, it scares me because I'm watching these kids and they're doing these, you know, outrageous things. You know, jumping from the top of a ladder down to the mat, and I'm talking a tall 20-foot ladder.
Yeah.
And then they keep having to
outdo themselves.
They have to do something that overrides that.
Right.
And they're just, I don't know how to put it other than they're killing themselves early doing this stuff.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Sandy Barr always said, you know, make every bump count.
Right.
You know, and I didn't know what he was talking about until my issues started. And I wish these kids slow your roll, man, because you're killing yourself 1 second at a time.
Yeah. The person that comes to mind with that is concerned is Darby Allin. I really hope that he doesn't kill himself one day because he's on the road too. And
well, there was just a referee.
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas.
Oh my gosh.
What's his last name? Dallas is his first name.
Oh, I can't remember what his last name is.
His first name? It was an OVW, I believe.
Yes, and he got hit, and went into a seizure. And nobody even realized it. I think everybody thought he was just selling the move, right? And it's sad watching these young kids do that to themselves, you know?
Right.
And on top of that, if they'd listen to the fans like I do, I'm going to guess somewhere between 60 and 70% of the fans, they want the old school wrestling back. They don't want this over the top bumpity bump that they want to see wrestling.
Right.
And some of the independents are going back. You know, my idea would be a mixed match, you know, a mixed venue. You know, do your lucha libre, you know, do your technical wrestling, do your heel baby face wrestling, do, you know, just a little bit of each one. And you're opening up the crowd, the people that you're going to draw in the match.
Right.
And I'd really like to see them stop what they're doing themselves. I really would.
Somebody that's just recently retired, AJ Styles, he's probably a few years older than me. He's a fantastic wrestler
I've seen him.
Like my favorite. And, you know, he's 48 and he was like, my body's starting to break down. I don't want to be one of those that, you know, can't hardly move because I overdid it. And, you know, when you're in a position like he is, and he's putting himself first after giving so many years to the business, it's kind of one of those happy endings where you're like, I'm sad to see you go, but it could have been a whole lot worse given, how some other people had to retire early or whatnot.
Right. Well, I believe the Undertaker Mark did the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
His body was just getting worse and worse by the minute, and he knew it.
Right.
And he was smart enough to say, love you guys, love the wrestling, love you fans, but I gotta stop.
Mm-hmm. And his last match was with AJ Styles too.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely right. I saw that. I mean, he's taking things to a whole new level. The Undertaker. He's doing the talk show circuit, the podcast circuit, the WrestleCons and all of that. He's still involved with the business, but he's not killing himself by being involved.
Right.
Yeah, he was one of those that if anybody wrote a book, like that would be the person I would want to see write a book. But a podcast is the same thing,
Yeah, the only thing is,
I'm sure he has so many stories to tell.
Well, and speaking of a book, thank you for the lead in unconsciously. I right now am in the process. I've got author Tom Strasdis, who happens to be my DDPY instructor as well.
Okay.
We're in the process of writing my second book.
Oh.
Okay.
And it's got more about my wrestling career in it. It's not filled. Probably we're going to have like 10 photographs tops, because right now we're on the 18th chapter.
Okay.
And it's going to be, I'm excited about it. I personally read the first 10 chapters. Because Tom sends them to me, and I got so taken in by reading it that it felt like I was reading about somebody else.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And your first book was incredible, so I'm excited to see what you got for the next round.
Oh, this one's going to be funny. There are some good fun spots in this, and just to give a hint, in the family section of the book, Tom did a lot of research with his Aunt Sue, and the things they came up with, this will give you an idea. I asked him, I said, so when are you going to find out if I'm related to Bonnie or Clyde? He's found out some things about my family. He found a picture of my dad, my biological dad, and I've got a little notch right here in my eyebrow, and I always thought it was a scar, because me and my brothers used to, like, we'd get behind walls of the old houses that were tumbling down and throw bricks at each other. and when he showed me the picture of my dad has the same exact mark in his eyebrow. Wow. So this isn't a scar, it's a birthmark.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Wow. There's a lot of things about me that are going to be revealed, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, absolutely. We're all looking forward. I know I'm looking forward to it. Marie,
yeah, me too. Yeah.
There's good times, there's bad times, it's gonna be, it's not so much a book about just wrestling, it's more of my true autobiography. It's about home, road trips, all kinds of different things, and my son, of course I had to put my son in there.
Of course.
Of course.
but I'm looking forward to it coming out, and I will definitely put it on blast. The debut is going to be at the Gathering in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
July 26th, July 22nd to the 26th. I'll be there Friday and Saturday. And that's going to be the grand opening where we will have the book, and we'll have both Tom and I there. So you'll be able to get an autograph, not only from me in the book, but also from the author.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody, y'all need to go to the Gathering this year.
Yes, you do. I want to see a line at my table.
Give Princess Victoria the longest line at the Gathering.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be some great stars there. Ted DiBiase is going to be there. Lord, of course, now I've seen the poster, and there's a lot of stars going to be there. And there's going to be a surprise coming up about the Gathering that nobody knows yet. So you better start watching Marty's page so you can see the surprise.
Oh, okay. Intrigue.
Yes.
Intrigue. Okay, well, like I said at the beginning of the episode, this is our special Women's History Month episode. And of course, you know, you're a former professional wrestler from, you know,
back in the day.
Yeah.
Honey, I'll be the first one to say I'm 65 on May 5th. I made it to 65, and I'm going to brag. I ain't going to hide my age. I'm going to brag.
Well, it's either get old or
right.
Or
get old or die.
Yeah, meet the maker. And I'm happy with getting old first. So,
well, yeah, I kind of agree. When you got only two choices, I'll take getting old.
And there's something that's been on my mind that I wanted to ask you. Not too long ago, I watched the movie Queen of the Ring, and it's about Mildred Burke. I don't know how much you know about Mildred Burke, or if you've seen the movie.
I haven't seen the movie, but one of the people that was an advisor on that film was the author who did my first book.
Okay.
Princess Victoria, Tale of Tears, Triumphs, and Turnbuckles.
Yes.
John Cosper was on set. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. And he was on set as an advisor.
Okay.
And you're actually going to see some wrestlers in there playing some parts.
Yes. Actually, Camille, former NWA Women's Champion, she played June Byers on the movie. Toni Storm played, I can't remember her name, but she was she played the woman who Mildred originally won the women's title off of. There's others sprinkled in. So it's a fantastic movie. And I found her story very interesting. And I never really thought about this before, so I wanted to ask you, in your first book, you do talk about, and some other people have as well who lived through this, was talking about Moolah and how much of a monopoly and manipulative that she was with all of you women.
Yes.
And I never really thought about this, but she's the product of Billy Wolf. And I was wondering if you think that there is a connection between the way she saw him maneuver everything with the women and kind of control everything and didn't let them have a say, and they had to do everything that he said. And she was kind of the same way. Do you think that maybe that there's a connection there, and she kind of learned that type of management from him?
Oh, most yes, she did. And the funny thing is Moolah hated Buddy because of the way he treated the girls.
Right.
And then she proceeded to do the same thing.
Right.
And I'm sure I said this on your show the last time we were here. I look at Moolah as two different people. I look at her, there's Lillian Ellison, the booker, which I'd slap if I ever saw her. But then there's Moolah, the wrestler, who without her, and I mean, she come up hard, so did Mildred. Those girls back in those ladies back in the day that were wrestling in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah.
They had a hard road to hoe. I mean,
well, yeah.
And Moolah, not making any excuses for her. She did what she did. She was wrong for how she did the girls, myself included. But there are people out there that have had great experiences with Moolah.
Right.
You know, Carmine Despoda is one of them. He met her when he was a teenager. And I'm glad that he had that experience with her.
Right.
You know, him and I are great friends. In fact, we became friends over our disagreements about Moolah, and we just agreed to disagree.
Right.
We what was it? CAC. I think it was CAC in 2018 where I was inducted in the CAC Hall of Fame. And him and I sat up just kind of sipping, not getting drunk, just sipping. And we talked about our experiences with Moolah till 5 o'clock in the morning. And we are great friends now. You know, and like I said, I didn't have that great of an experience with Moolah, but there are people out there that she treated very well. And I'm glad that they saw that side of her.
Yeah. Definitely not trying to downplay anybody's life experiences or anything like that. So everybody, you know, people have layers to them, and, you know, one person can see one thing and another person can see another, and it's the same person, but they just show different sides of them too.
Yeah, there's a meme out there that I swear by. My attitude depends on your actions.
Which one is it today?
Right. Am I going to be Vicky with you, or am I going to be Victoria with you? Nobody likes Victoria for some reason. She kind of shoots from the hip, you know.
Yeah.
And when she comes crawling out of the closet, I'm even scared.
We got another comment from another follower of ours from the show. Alma says, "What's up to Marie, Alora, and Princess Victoria? How are y'all doing this evening? I'm doing pretty good, dealing with some osteoarthritis in my joints, weather not helping much. I hope you get better, and thank you for watching. Hope you feel better."
Well, right now is the time of year that I hurt a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so I totally get it. A lot of people say that, oh, it's cold. You know, it's cold. That's why you hurt. No, that's not why I hurt. I hurt because the barometric pressure is going up and down, up and down, up and down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Alma's probably the same way. I mean, because right now we've had some crazy weather.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. And speaking of being hurt, how is your stuff with DDP yoga doing since the last time we talked?
It's doing great. Tom is here since Christmas, and I'm not gonna lie, since Christmas I've gotten off track, and it has not done me any good at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not being there, you know, twice a week like I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I have got to, you know, slap myself back upside the head and get back on it. It's like we had a break at Christmas, and then, just getting back into that routine.
Right.
Yeah.
And Tom says I keep vampire hours. I'm awake when the sun goes down, and I'm going to sleep when the sun comes up.
Yeah.
I have those nights too.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's got its own little cycle. Like I'll get to where I'm on the right side. In fact, that's the name of the new book. Fighting the Wrong Side of the Sun.
Mm.
And it says a lot about my life. But I'll get to where, hour by hour, I'll be changing it. All of a sudden, I'll be on the right side of the sun. And then let one thing happen, and I'm up all night again.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And once you get like you're doing good and you're on track and you've got your little schedule going and your routine and you're doing really well, and then one or two little things happen and it just knocks you completely off, and then it is so hard to get back going again. I mean, my husband and I have been going to the gym, and we were going to the gym religiously about 2 to 3 times a week,
Right.
doing very well. And then we got sick in February, and we've had a hard time getting back on our schedule because his work got crazy and everything like that. And we're like, okay, next week we are going back to the gym. No matter what, no excuses. We're going to go, even if it's just for 20 minutes on the treadmill. We're going to go. So.
Right. And I've got to get back on because Tom has done such great work for me.
Oh yeah,
And,
absolutely.
I mean, I went, and I think I said it the last time, I went from having to get my cane halfway through the first day at CAC to going 5 days with no cane and running around like a little kid at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh, I was. I ain't lying. It was like, I'm in a good mood. And, all right, let's go harass this person. Let's go harass that person. And I actually had a lot of people tell me that they did not expect me to be back last year.
Wow.
They figured that
wow.
They figured that 2023 was going to be the last time I was there because it was so bad.
Mm.
I mean, I couldn't hardly move.
Yeah.
And what Tom and DDPY has done for me,
Mm-hmm.
I can never pay that back.
Yeah.
There's no way I can pay that back. And there's times that I pull that, okay, I'm feeling great. Let's go outside and lift 50 pounds 3 times. I'm not feeling that great. I'm getting to where, and what's funny is when I say 64, I don't, in my brain,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 64.
Yeah.
I'm still that crazy kid running around, to Puerto Rico and Trinidad, all over the United States, Canada, New Brunswick, all of that.
Right.
And I'll get in one of those moods, like I did with my garden the other day. I needed to move the garden. And I started out cutting dead limbs because where I wanted to put the garden was full sun. So I started out cutting tree limbs. That's all I was going to do for that day. Then I said, well, might as well drag this dirt over there, because I've got an above ground garden. Might as well grab this up and set it up. Then I had to get the poles set in the ground because I needed my climber vine fence. Then I decided, oh, well, it's still a beautiful day. Let's plant some seeds. I didn't hurt that night. but the next day I tried to do yoga.
Boy.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
You overdid it.
Oh, seriously overdid it. I ended up spending 4 hours outside, and I had no business doing it. I'm hard-headed. I'm sure you ladies and everybody in the audience has done that a time or two.
Yeah.
Where you just, bull by the horns. I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah.
I will not ever make that mistake again. I hurt so bad, and it wasn't from the arthritis or bursitis, all three brothers, or the skeletal issues. It was because I had worked way too hard for the first time in, I want to say, 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when I met you in 2024, you were having a hard time getting around.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And the one in 2025. Were you there in 2025?
I did not get to go to the one last year, no.
Oh, we had so much fun. I had so much fun. And Mick Foley was there.
Oh, bless him. I love him so much.
I had no idea that he was backing, and I found out through conversation of other people that he takes all his profits from doing on the road shows and puts them into his abuse center.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's good.
For abused children, people, just for abused people.
It's called RAIN, right?
Yes.
It is called what? Brain?
RAIN, RAINN. I don't remember what it stands for.
Yeah, I remember him promoting that one time on social media.
Yeah. And he's such a nice guy.
Yes, he is.
I've watched him from afar. I've watched him do some interviews, and I just thought to myself, same thing with Undertaker. These were the type of guys that I came up in the business with. They're not 10 foot tall and bulletproof. These are just everyday people. And when he received a I believe it was the Lifetime Achievement Award in CAC, and he was just so gracious with his fans. When he went to get off the stage, of course, everybody that was in the crowd is going just to shake his hand. And I pulled what I call a Jimmy Snuka, which is I stood back and waited until everybody was done. And I walked up and I grabbed his hand and I said, "Thank you. I'm a survivor. Thank you for what you do. I'm a survivor." And, it means a lot to me when people do that, because in my childhood, it's 100% different than it is now.
Right.
In my childhood, the child's lying. I mean, that was just it. This was a family secret that you swept under the rug.
Right.
Nowadays, and some people like Dr. Phil, other people don't. But there was one show he did, and he said, "I would rather believe that a thousand kids who came to me and said they were abused, I would rather be wrong than pass up one child who was abused."
Right.
And for Mick to be doing what he's doing, that to me, that says all you need to say about a man.
Yeah, he's probably one of the kindest people that I've ever met in wrestling.
Oh,
and I haven't really met a mean one yet either.
Right.
But he's up there. He's up there.
Right. Well, Mick carries this. His aura is just so beautiful.
Right.
You know, there's no greens, there's no yellows. This is all pink. You know, I mean, he just, you know, you can look at Mick and never have met him. And just by the way he glows, you know what kind of person he is.
Right. When I was 12 years old, he was my favorite wrestler. And at that time, I hadn't seen any of his earlier stuff. This was on the later end of his career. So he wasn't doing all the crazy stuff. He was doing mostly the funny stuff with The Rock and stuff like that. But he just had this smile that just lit up my little 12-year-old heart. And I was like, I think that man is safe. And
oh, yeah.
I'm putting all my trust in him.
Right, right. I get that. He puts, like I said, he puts off this beautiful aura. And I mean, it's just like you get in his space and it's all warm, you know, everything. And, you know, he's one of the guys who would give a daddy bear hug. And I wouldn't do this, you know?
Right.
I'm sure you've been where I'm talking about.
Right.
And I really was impressed, you know, having seen Mick. One day I hope we get a chance to sit down and I get to pick his brain, because he is just so awesome.
He is.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody else that has a lot of stories. He's got a lot of books under his belt as well. So
yeah, he's something else. He really is. I mean, he's what I call crazy funny. You know, because I'm sure that he's pulled a few ribs in his life.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice seeing guys like that in the business. I wish these kids would take note and watch the old school wrestling, because if they do that, I do believe wrestling will come back just as good as it was before.
Well, see,
go ahead.
I was just saying on that note, and with Mick Foley, they probably did look a lot at Mick Foley, because he's kind of where, not necessarily where it started, well, but kind of.
Right.
With the doing the crazy spots and just trying to up the ante each time, you know. His matches in Japan were insane. Of course, the Undertaker Hell in the Cell match where he falls from the top of the cage into the
table.
But,
yeah, it was a table.
Yeah, and when he fell through, went back up, and he fell through into the ring. That was actually an accident. It was not supposed to happen.
Right.
And he was out of it. And he was out of
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When something like that happens and you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Much less, you know, there is no way I would get on top of a 20-foot fence and jump off of it on purpose.
And now they do it. They do it all the time now. And I'm like, do y'all see how hard it is for Mick Foley to get around? I mean, do y'all see this? This is going to be you 10 times that, because you're doing it every 3 weeks.
Right. And I didn't even do crazy spots like that. And look at me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this comes from working 7-8 days a week and the broken neck that never got medical attention. They found my new doctor, actually found the break. Nobody else could find the break. And I was beginning to think, are you out of your mind? Did you really break your neck? Well, my doctor found the break. It's in the second vertebrae, and the third, fourth, and fifth vertebrae are naturally fused together now.
Wow.
And that's just from one wrong bump.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what these kids don't understand is they're upping the ante. You know, when you're taking 30, 40 bumps in a 15-minute match, you're literally killing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm one who can speak on that, you know, because like I've said before, Sandy used to say, make it count.
Right. And sometimes like in your case, just a small thing, it seems like that just one little thing that goes wrong can just, you know, change things so quickly. I mean, like, I don't know if you know who Big E is, but he broke his neck 8 years ago.
Okay.
And all it was
it wasn't that. I don't think it was that long ago, was it?
Yeah.
It was maybe
it was 5-6 years ago. And all it was a belly to back suplex that just went wrong.
Yeah. And you hit it right on the head. All it takes is once. You know, all it takes is once.
And, you know, a lot of times too, you know, you put your trust in the opponent that you're with. And, you know, wrestling is like that. I think, what was his name?
Rich.
Ridge Hollins.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was the person that was wrestling Big E. He got a lot of flack for that, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. You know, he says it happens. You know, one wrong move, it's just
a wrinkle in the mat.
Yeah.
A rope that's just a little too loose. Mm-hmm. You know, missing something by an inch can cost you your career, or worst case scenario, your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
absolutely,
you know,
I know someone in the Indies who had to retire because he got hurt because they were trying to do something off the top rope and there was too much baby oil on the ropes and they lost their footing and he landed straight on his neck and he wasn't able to wrestle after that.
It's a wonder he was able to walk.
Yeah.
You know, and I can see that happening. I mean, like you said, you know, a wrinkle in the mat, missing something by an inch can cost you your life in that ring. Mm-hmm. I'm a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, you know, what happened to me was not done on purpose. You know, it was just, it was my day, you know, and there's been a few others that have had just their day. I mean, we talked about Terry Funk before we got on, and Terry had started doing those extreme matches
with Mick Foley.
Yeah. With Mick Foley, and I think Mick's the lucky one because I think that took a hell of a toll on Terry.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And like I said, start listening to your fans, people.
Yeah.
Because they're going to tell you they're sick of this bumpity bump. I got to get my this in and I got to get my that in. They want to see real wrestling.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of things, because, you know, the kids today will look at like a Terry Funk and a Mick Foley and maybe some other people that they grew up watching in ECW or Japan or wherever. And they're like, well, they really got over doing all of this stuff. Maybe I should too. You know, keep doing this, you know.
That's why it says don't try this at home.
Well, yes, but the thing is that they're also missing the component that your Mick Foley's and your Terry Funks, while yes, they were doing all these crazy bumps, they were still phenomenal storytellers that brought you in and held your attention and had you rooting for these characters. And a lot of these people who are doing all these crazy bumps, they're not doing any storytelling. They're just doing all of this nutso stuff. And
very, very well said. There's no psychology.
Right.
Which means you do 40 bumps in a match, you've done it for nothing.
Right.
Right.
You know, everybody forgets. And I actually I have in my past, I have actually had the proverbial person, well, is it fake?
Of course.
And
you get
I look at it. Yeah, I look at them. I said, let me ask you a few questions. Number one, did you enjoy the match? Well, yes. Number two, do you feel you got your money's worth? Well, yes. Number three, are you coming back next week? Of course. Then why do you care?
Yeah.
Thank you, Julian.
I know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Julie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of it's funny how we were talking about that, because I was watching a match with you and Leilani Kai earlier, and the commentator was like, yes, folks, don't try this at home.
Right.
And it was during your match. I was like, okay, see, even back then they were saying, do not try this at home.
Right. You know, because a pile driver done wrong can kill you or paralyze you.
Stone Cold's a perfect example.
You know, if I really want to retch on an arm bar, I can break your elbow. You know, every move that we make in the ring can hurt or kill you.
Right.
And don't, you know, them saying, don't try this at home. No,
they
don't.
Mean it.
Well, I was watching one of these quote unquote backyarders. And this guy jumped off the top rope outside the ring and missed his guy and hit the ground face first. Right. No. Yeah.
No.
Go get your training. You know, and I can't say that enough. Go get your training.
Yeah.
If you don't throw up at least once during training, find yourself a new trainer. You know, if you're not sore when you wake up the next morning, or probably before you go to bed that night, go find a new trainer, because they're not training you properly. You know?
I heard.
Speaking of trainers, and I was going to bring this up. I'm sure you're familiar with Bayley in WWE.
I've actually just started watching WWE again.
Okay.
And what's her name? Rhea.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley.
I love Rhea.
So
She is. I love her to
Everybody
death.
loves Mommy.
Yeah, Mommy.
So Bayley hasn't really been on much lately. I'm not sure why, but I know sometime last year she did this, and she's doing it again this year, and I'm not sure when, but it's soon. Bayley has actually been holding a women's wrestling seminar for women's wrestlers free of charge.
Oh, wow.
In order for them to, training with them, helping them get better any way they can. And I've before that, I don't think I've heard anybody doing that. So for somebody like Bayley to do that and do it free of charge, I just think that's amazing. And she is a fantastic wrestler. She was one of the 4 horsewomen in WWE back 10, 11 years ago. And I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that, as, you know, her passing on passing down, knowledge.
I love her.
And
I haven't met her, but I love her. And see, that's the kind of schooling I came up with. Sandy Barr never charged Velvet or I a dime to train us, not one thin dime. Now, did he work us out? Were there garbage cans outside on all four sides of the ring? Oh yeah. Did we hurt? Pretty much all the time, because see, back then we were doing training in the morning and the night. Monday through, I think it was Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. And then of course the weekend we broke down the ring and set up the flea market. But if you're not sore, and this is one of my favorite hate things. If you can't get something right, say a drop kick, and your trainer says, all right, well, we'll come back to that, walk out the door. I'm serious. Sandy never did that. Never. We stayed on this until we got it right. In fact, and thanks, TA, I'm about to tell on you. Magnum TA was training with me in Velvet one day. And it was drop kick day. I don't know how many hundreds of times I tried that drop. Well, it felt like hundreds of times. I could get my feet up in the air, but my butt was magnetically glued to the mat. And I mean, after 15, 20 drop kicks, and all Sandy would do was hold out his hand. You had to hit his hand. And Magnum was in the corner. Velvet was in the corner. And Sandy called Velvet over. And then he said, Terry, show this girl how to throw a drop kick. Terry had never thrown a drop kick in his life.
Oh. Uh-oh.
When Terry jumped up, and I say he was coming down to the hand, he was coming down to the hand. And Sandy said, that's how it's done, princess. Oh, the names that I called Terry under my breath. But
it's aggravating when you have been working on something for over and over and over again and can't quite do it, and then someone comes in fresh as a daisy and does it their very first time. I hate that. When I was a full-time
really?
into DDP yoga a couple years ago. I still do it occasionally, but like I said, my schedule got off, so I've been way off on my exercise. Right. But when I was fully into it, I was working on the roundhouse kick where you pull up your leg out like this.
Yeah.
And I had been working on that for like a month, maybe more. Right. My husband, who does not do any kind of yoga at all, nothing, just comes in there and goes, oh, that looks interesting. Let me try it. And does it one time and does it. And I'm like, really? That's not fair.
Out. Go. Get away from me now.
Go away.
Make me sick.
Yeah, I definitely felt like that where Terry was concerned. Him and I are great friends. But I still hate him for that drop kick.
Next time you see him, you gotta wait for the right moment and be like, you remember that day when you had to show me the drop kick?
Oh,
I forgot that.
I remind him every damn you and your drop kick, because every time we see each other, of course, we are big time friends. I mean,
oh yeah.
Terry and I have been friends before either one of us had our first match.
Oh.
And Terry earned his stripes. Terry's, he's one of the people that I can say, earned his stripes, and he earned them the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
But I can drop a dime, get him on the phone. Terry, I need. What you need, princess? You know, I mean, we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't ask for a better friend than Terry Allen Magnum-TA. You can't. He's like, emotionally, he's like Sensational Sherry.
Mm-hmm.
You can be walking in a blizzard with either one of them and say you're cold, and they will take their coat off and put it on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I would like to see that start up again in the business, because we were a family.
Right.
Now I might be mad at you, Marie. I might want to, you know, just when I see you, just smack you upside the head. But if you call me at 2:00 in the morning and say I'm at mile marker such and such on such and such freeway, I'm broke down, you get in the car. You don't even change out of your pajamas unless you sleep commando. You get in the car and you go get them.
Right.
You know, we were one big dysfunctional family. And I wish the guys, they're missing so much by not doing this, by having to get my this in and get my that in, and their egos are involved.
Mm.
And I hate to see it, because they're missing so very much.
One of the things that I remember about our days in Fort Valley, my brother used to be a indie wrestler, and one of the things that really strengthens a bond with you and other workers. I wasn't a worker. I just, you know, traveled with them, watched my brother and travel and stuff. It is the traveling. And because, you know, you're going from town to town, you know, trying to make it to the next show or whatever opportunity you have. And those are some of the times that I remember the most. And some of the people, you know, some aren't with us anymore. And then there's some, you know, you haven't seen them in a long time, but there's a lot of love there because y'all been through a lot together at one point in time. You never forget what, you know, that time where you're just, you know, they were cutting their teeth, and then, you know, I was doing the driving and, you know, whatnot. So I really think that's something a lot of them don't understand today.
Right.
Because they don't do the traveling.
Right. They stay in their state. If now I know quite a few wrestlers who are doing the traveling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even to England, which,
yeah,
if things go right, I may be doing that here soon.
Ooh, that'll be exciting.
And I've already got my passport.
Hey.
Hey. You know, you can learn so much sitting in the back seat of a car, listening to the old timers talk.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that Sandy pushed. When an old timer talks, you shut your mouth, you open your ears, and you do what you're told.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned more sitting in that back seat than I can count on all my fingers and toes. You know, it's just shut up and listen. And something else, you know, it used to be when an old timer came in the room, and not necessarily an old timer, just, you know, Tommy Rich or, you know, Stan Stasiak, people would get up, Mr. Stasiak, Mr. Rich, you know, and shake hands and give them acknowledgement. Right. You know, and then they'd try to pick their brains, which is what I did. Right. And what Velvet did, you know, because when we were in Canada with Al Tomko, if the the next town wasn't 250, 300 miles away, we thought Tom was sick. Al was sick.
Yeah.
He didn't believe in, 100-mile trip. And there were times we spent 6 and 8 hours on the ferry. Now try that in Canada.
Woo.
Right? But they need it's I totally just lost my train of thought. Yes, folks, I'm old. I forget shit.
Well, I've heard Mark Henry say a few times on podcasts and other places that there have been times where he would be in locker rooms all day and not one person would come up and ask him any questions. Hey, what do you what about this or what about that? Hey, can you watch my match and give me your feedback or anything like that? And I'm just sitting there like, I'm not a wrestler, but if I
know to ask that. Yeah, exactly.
If I was, I would be going up to these people who have been doing this for 10, 15, 20 plus years, asking, because they've been through it. They have gotten up to, and Mark Henry is a former world champion on WWE programming.
And Olympian. I mean, he's done a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? He's right there.
Mahala Osaka was the one that brought all us girls to CAC 2018 when I was inducted. She went around, came out of her own pocket to make sure everybody had a free motel room, everybody had a flight, blah, 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 blah. And we went, I think it was the third day we were at CAC, and it was a moolah board. That was interesting.
Oh, I'm sure, to be a fly on the wall.
And they asked each of us what we had to say to the crowd, to the participants. And I, of course, went, this is a forearm. This is not a forearm. This is a punch. This is not a punch. Mahala got up there. Oh, Lord have mercy. Now, if you know Mahala, if you don't like the truth, you don't want the truth, don't ask her, because she's going to give it to you on a silver platter. If I'm ever in a fight and Mahala's on the other side, I'm done. I'm leaving. And when it came time for each of us to put in our, last sentence, Mahala got up and she said, I am disappointed in every woman wrestler here today except for these ladies on the board.
Oh.
Not one of you has walked up to one of these legends and asked a question. Not one of you has walked up and shook their hand and said thank you. And she went on. She ragged them. And that's the first thing I was taught. Like I said, shut your mouth, open your ears, and do what you're told.
Well, and see, that's just life too. It's not just wrestling, because no matter what you choose or what you're doing, even just in day-to-day life experiences, if you're going through something, if something happens in my life and I'm not really sure what to do about it, I call my mom, because she's been through it, oh, this kind of hurts and I don't know if it's normal or not. And I've never been 38 before, so
I've never been this old before. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. It's with anything. And I'm like, you're not going through life asking for advice? How are you even breathing at this point?
Very well said. Perfect. That is perfect. It doesn't just apply to wrestling; it applies to life as a whole. Of course you do,
Oh,
Julian.
sorry. Yeah.
No, yeah. Love her too. I love Mahala. She is, like I said, if you don't want the truth, don't ask her. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know she's been on Cordelia's where I live or we live. I remember seeing her in Jessup in 2004 or 5. And I did not get a chance to meet her. I was bummed about that, but I did get to see her wrestle, so I was happy with that.
There you go. Well, she's at every CAC. Hint, hint, hint.
Okay.
But yeah, it was funny watching Mahala down there, and I mean, she was chewing these girls, like a piece of beef jerky. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, within the next 20 minutes, girls started walking up to me and Judy and Joyce and Despina Montagas and asking questions, which I think I'd have probably done the same thing.
Yeah.
Mahala is the type of woman that should be a trainer. Mm. And any man that's a trainer should look at Mahala. Yes, she's tough. Yes, she's as tough as, number 10 sandpaper. But I guarantee you, once you finish training with her, you're ready to get in the ring. And if your heart's not in it, which is the way I was trained by Sandy Barr, Sandy's job, a trainer's job, is to weed out.
Yeah.
That's their job.
Yeah.
If you've got this much doubt in your mind that you want to be a wrestler, you have to be weeded out. And that's what Sandy did. When I first started training with him, there were 4 guys there. By the time it got done, it was me and Velvet, and that was it. Mm-hmm. And Mahala, I believe, would be that kind of trainer, and we need more trainers like that.
Yeah.
In the business, because they're setting these kids up to hurt themselves, and I'm gonna put this on the promoters. This is the day of the cell phone. It takes video. If somebody calls you up and looking for a spot on your show, the first words out of your mouth should be, send me some videos of you working in the ring.
Yes.
The second thing should be, who is your trainer and what is their phone number? Because there's one guy, I'm not going to mention his name, Crisanino, who claims that Joseph Von Schmidt trained him. Joseph didn't train him. This kid came to training twice and set up the ring twice. And this guy is hurting people in the ring.
We've had Joseph on the show, and we know he's legitimate. So,
Joseph,
yes,
I'm a little upset at hearing someone
speaking on his
tarnishing
name
his name.
How dare them?
When this guy was stalking me, and I mean stalking me,
creeper.
Worse.
That was the PG name.
Yeah, this guy got up on a live radio show and told everybody that I didn't break my neck in the ring. I was drunk all the time, so the WWF fired me. Watch a few of my matches, see how drunk I was. And then that didn't work. Have you seen the pile driver that I gave to Chico in Japan?
I don't think so.
If I'd have known how good that looked, that would have been my finish from all the way out there. So now, since the thing about me being drunk in the ring and getting fired is not working, now they went to say that I ended Chico's career with that pile driver. Funny thing is Chico's promoting matches in Japan, and she's wrestling in the ring. Imagine that.
That's odd.
Right.
Usually people who get hurt like that can't still be wrestling.
Right. Well, it is what it is. I know the truth. You know the truth. 99.99999% of the people know the truth. There's only two people out there saying this, and they're less than 0.01, 0.0001%.
Oh, yeah, you're always going to have that, like, one or two haters,
Right. And I feel sorry for them. I really do. I'm not being sarcastic. Well, yeah, I am. Their lives are so shallow that they have to come after somebody like me, and this same person has harassed the Glow Girls. In fact, I had Grammy. Her name was, you remember Gremlina, the ankle biter in Glow?
Mm-hmm.
Grammy's a good friend of mine. She actually had to call me up one night and tell me that this person was harassing her and several other of the girls. And I had to call a friend of mine and tell him, you need to put your boy in check, and you need to do it now.
Yeah.
He's an abuser. This person is there's a tape out there where he's got his girlfriend as his valet, and she missed a spot. Now, out of 1,000 wrestlers, I guarantee you 1,000 wrestlers are going to say, yeah, I missed a spot one time. And when she went to get back up on the ring apron, he came back and it was a shoot, and he hit her. And then he came back and he hit her so hard this time her hands slipped off the ring, and she was off the edge of the ring in front of fans.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's, oh man.
Remember that name. He's a very, very ill person. And there are actually people that are using him to wrestle, even though he hurts people, even though he's an
There's
abuser.
So many more people that are much better.
Yeah.
Really?
You this is what you're down to? Then
I found something today. Matter of fact, I posted it on my page, and I want to share it with y'all right quick. I wanted to mention it. Let me go on my page right quick. Where is it? Okay. Something must have happened because somebody was hot yesterday. It says, "Dear friends, commentators, and whoever else this applies to, stop objectifying female talent. This isn't the Attitude Era. Bra and panty matches aren't a thing anymore, and JR and Lawler aren't yelling sexualized catchphrases. It is 2026. Female talent work just as hard as men. They take pride in their gear, in-ring training, and storytelling. Appreciate them as the artists they are. They deserve better, much better."
Wow. Well said.
Yes.
Well said. Yes. And like I said earlier, I love Rhea. She's a class act. And I watched her in, what's the short greaseball she was with?
Talking about Dominic Mysterio?
Yeah, no. Was it Dominic? The one who dumped mommy for a blonde?
It was Dominic.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Dominic.
It's actually
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio's son.
Yes. I knew as soon as you said it that it was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mysterio's son.
Yeah.
But she is such a class act. I
Mhm.
mean, she is what women's wrestling is all about. And she can be her in the ring. And then I saw her, and I believe it was in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
It was the arena where you have to go under, where we had to go under the building to get in.
Mm.
And there were security guards because the wrestlers were walking in, and some little girl, and I mean little girl, we're talking 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
She loves Rhea. And she
Oh.
went and tried to bust the line of the security guards. Now you got to give the kid credit. That takes guts.
Yep.
I seen a little girl sneak to meet John Moxley several years ago. Like she was probably like 5.
Right.
Went past security and everything, and she just showed up and stood right next to him, and he was like, "Oh, hey!" It was so
How you
funny.
doing?
Exactly.
Well, this little girl was trying to break the line, and you could hear. I didn't see her trying to break the line, but I could hear her hollering,
Mm-hmm.
Rhea," and
Aww.
Rhea turns around and she said like this to the little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she told the security guard, let her through. And she signed that little girl's autograph. Yeah, for her walking into the building, which that's old school if there ever was old school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that they're going back. Finally, the WWE is going back to old school wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and when I went to SmackDown last May, something that I really noticed that really warmed my heart was all these little girls. They were dressed up as Bianca Belair. There was a couple of them that were dressed like Rhea, and of course AJ Lee just returned, and she was somebody a lot of young girls looked up to because she was different. So you're seeing a lot of cosplay, and I just love that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
You know, and well, that's why what we talked about earlier, why I said, let me know you're taping, because I don't want to promote this.
Yes.
And because there are, and I've had quite a few people, men as well as women, who have looked up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've always had that in my mind. And to let y'all know, I'm talking about smoking cigarettes. You know, I'm talking to the crowd. I don't want to promote that. I don't like it. In fact, when I go to smoke, I tell people I've got to go feed my demon. But I don't smoke in front, especially kids.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want. I'm 65. There's no sense in quitting now. You know, I've been smoking since I was 12. Unfortunately, this was back in the day when you could, you know, forge a note to the grocery store that had your mother's name on it. And
my mom's 68. She did all that too.
I think cigarettes were like 35 cents a pack then. But yeah, people in wrestling need to remember
Mm-hmm.
that there's people out there that idolize us, that are gonna follow our direction.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's
Absolutely.
why you will never hear me. If you go to my page, I finally put it up on my page. This is no place for political stance. This is my
Absolutely.
page. I don't need that. I don't want that. And I'm not going to state on my page my political views.
Right.
Because there are people that look up to me, but I want them to make their own choice.
Right.
Don't make that choice just because Princess Victoria or Rhea Ripley did it. And Rhea is, from what I can figure out, the same way I am. You got to realize you're an idol to these kids. And you're an idol to some adults too.
Yes.
And you've got to watch what you say. You've got to watch what you do. So, but anyway,
I want to share, I'm going to share something with you, right quick. Cause I know we're probably getting ready to wrap up.
Yes, ma'am.
I went to, I don't know if I shared it with you or not, but I went to Evolution in July. It was an all women's pay-per-view for WWE. It was the second one they did. The first one they did was in 2018.
Right.
But this one was in Atlanta, and it was kind of all of a sudden they just said, "Hey, Evolution's going to be here," and Saturday night's main event the night before. And I was fortunate enough to go because I felt like that it meant a lot to me, and I'm so glad that I got to go, and I took my nephew with me. He's 17. He'll be 18 next month, and
he was in heaven, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. He's like, I never thought my first WWE pay-per-view would be all women. I love it. But for that to come up all of a sudden, I mean, the women showed up, us as fans showed out.
Right.
They put on an incredible performance all night. You saw all the kids dressed up, like I had said earlier, and people had signs, support women's wrestling, this, that, and the other.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, it was amazing. And I tell you what, it was Rhea and Io Sky. They wrestled for the women's title. They tore the house down. They were literally wrestling all over the place. Naomi ended up cashing in her Money in the Bank contract on them after they done fought tooth and nail for like 30 minutes. And but I tell you what, I've been to so many shows, been to WrestleManias. That was the loudest crowd I've ever been a part of, and it was for an all women's wrestling event. I can attest to that. Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
And I was never more proud.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is post Vince McMahon Jr. What Triple H and Stephanie are doing with women's wrestling right now, I admire.
Yes.
Because they brought it out of the gutter.
Right.
And made it mainstream. And they've got women wrestlers, not cookie cutters.
Right.
Right. And these are women who they're not models, they're not actresses. These are women. I won't even put the women in front of them because I didn't like it when I was wrestling. I am not a woman wrestler. I'm a wrestler.
Right.
These are wrestlers. And to get my attention and to turn me into a mark, and anybody who knows me well knows it's very hard to get my attention as a mark. And what I'm seeing today, since one of my fans who shall remain nameless said, Vicky, and he private messaged, you need to watch WWE tonight. So-and-so's on and such is on. And I did. And it just happened to be when Rhea and Dominic, is that his name? Mysterio Dominic were they were in the middle of this little thing where he was getting ready to break it off with Rhea and go with the blonde lady. I don't remember her name.
Liv Morgan.
Huh?
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm
okay.
catching up. I'm catching up, Liv. I apologize. I'm catching up.
Definitely check her out too, because she has come a long way. She won the Women's Rumble this year, and she's one of the best.
She's one of the best heels in the business right now.
Yes,
men and women.
Nice
across the board. Yep.
Hang on. Let me write that down. Yes, I do my notes old school.
And I'll say too, Princess Victoria, if you ever get a chance, watch NXT. Shawn Michaels is doing a wonderful job with the women there. They got some of the best women's talent there today.
I am senseless fan. Vicky, you need to watch this. Get off your high horse, because when I quit watching it in 1988 or late 87, early 88. And that was during the negligee and when Vinny took him to, I believe it was Kuwait. And
you had told us about it. Yeah.
Okay. And I quit watching it that night. And have only in the last couple of months, thanks to this fan, have started watching again. And I'm impressed by what I see. It like I said, it's hard to turn me into a mark, but I'm watching these matches, and these women, they know the difference between a headlock and a hammerlock. And it's good to see. It is awesome to see, because Velvet and I worked our tails off to become women wrestlers.
Right.
And to have seen what I saw when they were doing those matches, it's a wonder that my 55-inch DLP survived. But it's nice to see that Triple H and Stephanie are bringing the women back to the forefront. It is really good to see. Yeah.
These women are absolutely amazing wrestlers, performers. They tell
you know what? They
stories.
steal the show. They steal the show a lot.
They do.
Matter of fact, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Laura.
Okay. The last pay-per-view was Elimination Chamber, and they do have a women's Elimination Chamber now.
Okay.
And to be honest, that was the best match on the card, and it was the first one on there. The first, they were the first to go, and they stole the show.
That's why you set up your matches. Your first match is a technical match. Your second match is semi-technical. Your third match is, okay, we're going to, heel baby face. Your pre-main event, you pop them up. You don't put your best on first. It's like walking into a used car lot and you're looking for a $500 car, but the salesman is showing you the $5,000 car that you can't afford, so you don't want the $500 car anymore. You got to build, but they're getting better. I'm very, from what I've seen when I watch them, they're getting better, and thank God that Stephanie and Triple H are doing what they're doing. They're showing the women wrestlers as wrestlers, not as cookie cutters.
Right.
And
women's tag team wrestling is doing phenomenal too. WWE's women's tag has been doing good, and AEW has a really wonderful women's tag division as well.
Well, AEW also uses Nyla Rose, which is a very good friend of mine. And very, very good friend of mine. I met her in Rhode Island at a con, and I wasn't even advertised, but the owner of the con gave me a table, and Nyla just walked in and said, "Can I sit beside you?" I said, "Of course." And we talked for about 10 minutes. I said, "Where's your gimmicks?" She said, "I don't have any gimmicks." And by gimmicks, I mean 8x10s, whatever else. I don't have any gimmicks. She said, "I don't have any gimmicks." And I looked her right dead in the eye. I said, "Nyla, you do not go anywhere, including the 7-Eleven for a beer, without your gimmicks." And she went out to the car and actually found some 8x10s. And that was the first time I met Nyla, and I love her to death. She is, and what a wrestler.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a wrestler, and for her to be getting the flack that she has gotten, to me, is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we all know Nyla's transgender. Gee, she hides it so well. Not. Why are certain licensing agents saying she can only wrestle a man? Yet you've got, as they call it, cisgender women, which were women born as women, wrestling men.
Yeah.
Explain the difference to me.
Right.
There's not one.
Right.
As long as you you're good as long as you do your job, you're not hurting anybody, you're telling a good story. I don't care what you are.
Yeah.
It's not my business.
She's
what
well respected.
You do in your it's not my business what you do in your personal life and in your business.
None of our business.
No. And
No.
there's been this big thing about women, transgender women being in sports. Understand, this is a two-sided coin. When you're talking about professional sports, there's a difference in the two. And if a woman wants to wrestle Nyla, knowing she's transgender, that's not a problem with me. If the women that are running races or doing athletics, if they know that so-and-so is transgender and they agree with having her in their pack, that's fine. But if you got an overall majority who do not want that, you have to listen to that. It's a double-sided coin.
Right.
And you have to listen to both sides. I mean, you really do.
Yeah, I think in wrestling, it's a little bit different than those sports and everything. And we are here on Peaches and Power Bombs. We welcome anyone on our show.
Yes, ma'am.
And your personal life is your personal life, and that's none of my business. And if you are cordial and a kind person to me, I am going to be cordial and I'm going to be kind to you, and we can do business together just fine. So
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We actually have someone that we collaborate with ever so often. She's sometimes a guest on our show. Her name is Sarah, and she's transgender. That's not, I don't care that she is. I think she's awesome. We talk,
right.
We have good conversation about wrestling. She's invited me on stuff, and us vice versa. So it doesn't bother me. Like, you do you, basically.
Right, exactly. You do you, and I'm not going to dislike you because you're transgender. If I dislike you, it's because you're an asshole.
Right.
I'm sorry, that just came
No,
out.
you're fine.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, I actually that comes from a place way long ago. I used to burn metal at this tractor place, and I went and about 80% of the welders there were black, but we all got along. We even had a guy that we called Sanford, like from Sanford and Sons.
Yeah.
Because he was coal black, and he always walked around with a cigar in his mouth. And I went over the middle line. I was gonna go ask a question, and this idiot who had been harassing the hell out of me, he comes over, and we had just had an argument, and of course I won. And he walked over in front of all these African American men, and I hate the word African American because they're American. These black American men were right there. There was about 15 or 20 of them because we were on break.
Right.
And I was talking to Sanford, and out of nowhere comes this jerk. I cleaned it up. And he goes, "You don't like me just because I'm black." And I looked at him. I said, "No." I said, "It has nothing to do with you being black. I don't like you because you're an asshole." And the entire line, and I'm talking 150 feet, lost it. So that's where that comes from.
Well, I'm gonna bring it back to wrestling for a moment, if you don't
Why?
mind. We got woo out the window, but that's
Right.
okay.
But
We're having fun, though.
Now, you know, you've talked to enough wrestlers, you know.
Yes.
Left, right, left, tree, squirrel.
We were talking about how far women's wrestling has come, and I just think it's mind-blowing, because when I was younger, I never thought that I would see the day where women would main event a WrestleMania.
Mhm.
And now we've done it twice.
Well, when Velvet and I took the tag team titles from Joyce and Wendy, I believe we were semi-main event then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it is, you're right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That, you know, like I said, 3 times. It seems to me Stephanie and Triple H are listening to the people.
Yeah.
You know, they're tired. The people are tired. They're tired of all this extravagance. They want to see professional wrestling.
Right.
They want to see the Buddy Rose, Roddy Piper feud. They want to see the Four Horsemen, you know, all of that. And they want to see real wrestling. And
right.
It needs to be brought back.
Right.
Somebody else that I would want to suggest to you as well, to keep an eye out for, Princess Victoria, is Chelsea Green. She is such a joy on SmackDown.
Oh, somebody in the background wants your attention. Meow, I'm dying. My bowl. I can see the bottom of my bowl between all the food. Now say that.
Yeah, she does that too.
Yep.
Chelsea Green.
Chelsea.
I'll give you an example, and I think there's a clip. I'll have to send it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now she's injured. She broke her ankle. She was only on TV for 5 seconds. She cut in during someone's backstage promo, and it was Tiffany Stratton. She was cutting a promo, and Chelsea rolls up in a wheelchair, and she starts to talk smack Tiffany just goes behind the wheelchair and just pushes his off, and she's like, hey! And it was hilarious because she does. It's like she makes the moments count.
Yeah. That sounds very much like old school.
She is the embodiment of maximize your minutes.
Yes. Right. Like I said, those 5 seconds, that was a highlight of the show. It was hilarious.
Right. Right. Unlike when they threw the guy with one leg in the trash can.
Yeah.
Do you know what they could have done with that guy? I mean, the first time I saw him, I happened to turn the channel, and I believe it was WWF at the time, and this guy with one leg jumps up in the middle of the two turnbuckles and balances there with one foot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you could have done with him and what Vinny did with him? I mean, that guy was awesome.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if he. There was a guy who did a few matches for AEW when they first came around. Back in 2019, and he didn't even have legs at all, and he wrestled. I'm like, how in the world?
Oh, I can tell you how in the world. I can tell because when you have no legs, your arms become your legs.
Right. And he was jumping around, like going all over the place.
Oh yeah. People underestimate people with disabilities.
Yeah.
And people like the gentleman you were talking about and the gentleman I was talking about, they're out of the blue. And why are they not, why did they end it with him being thrown into a trash can? I mean, there were so many things that you could do with those two people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a shame that it was handled so, how do I want to say, hollow.
Mm-hmm.
There was no great big finish. There was no anything. They didn't use him like, in my opinion, and my opinion is like other things. Everybody's got one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like the women. I mean, if I used to say if I met somebody from the WWE, I'd walk away. Now, if I were to see Triple H or Stephanie, I would shake their hands for what they're doing.
Right.
They're being very smart. I mean, Vinny even quit working Madison Square Garden. He gave up the rental lease to Madison Square Garden, and ROH came in as soon as he gave up the MSG. ROH came in and put the tickets on sale and sold the building out in 10 minutes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's crazy.
Well, I'm really glad to see, like you said, with Stephanie and Triple H giving the girls the push that they're given. Yeah. But they're using the right girls in the right way. Excuse me, the right ladies in the right way.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. There you are. I was finding that video.
Women's wrestling in the 90s was just. I feel so bad because I'm not blaming the women at all because they were just doing what they were told to do. It's not their fault at all.
Nope. They wanted to wrestle and they did what they had to do to wrestle.
Mm-hmm. I think honestly that they were not viewed as human beings and were not treated like human beings and objects to use.
Yes, and gee, after the lawsuit against Vinnie Mac, I wonder why that is.
I mean, I've always thought, I mean, I didn't, you know, I've obviously never met this dude, okay? You have, but I haven't. And he just came off so gross. He came off so gross, and I'm like,
he looked like one of the people that,
ugh.
if you're walking with your child, you grab their hand in the
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And see, I knew as soon as I saw the new Vinny Jr. that he was on steroids, because I used to watch him, and I called him a pencil neck geek because he had a neck smaller than mine.
Right.
And he was running behind Hogan and Piper like a kid after an autograph. Now, every time that we did, what did you do to her? She is mad. Did you hear that? Yeah.
She's ready for her close-up.
Is mommy not paying attention to you, baby girl, huh?
Yeah, that's what it is. She wants her pretty time.
Mm-hmm.
Christine finally made it. We're about to wrap up here shortly, but I'm glad you made it. Check you could check the replay out and
send me a link to the replay as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we are. We're having fun. We've went from wrestling to child abuse, back to wrestling. I love it.
You know it, Christine. Mina is voicing her opinion. She's always got to throw her 2 cents in every show.
Well,
and then when I bring her on, she don't want to see it, you know.
Ah, come on, Mina. Come on.
Yeah, you act like you're tortured every time. And we know you're not.
Right? I mean,
right.
Yeah, she looks so abused.
The other day, actually, I was telling Marie this before you came on. My brother and I were watching, we were catching up on wrestling in the living room, and we have a screen-in porch, and of course there's like 2 windows in the living room, and there's a couch against the outside wall there when we sit on the porch. Well, we're just sitting there watching, and all of a sudden he goes, Mina, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh God, what's she doing? She got up on the couch and got his attention through the window. She snuck outside when he let his dog out, and it was chilly that night, and she froze her little butt off. She ran inside, and she kept running around for a few minutes. It's like trying to warm her body temperature or something.
She did the zoomy thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She did the pit bull zoomy thing.
Mm-hmm. See, Christine knows spoiled rotten.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, yeah, I already saw that. She is spoiled rotten.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because her nickname is Princess, and everybody goes, "Yeah, right." Yeah,
I'm not about you. You can hear her is like, mommy. I can see the bottom. I can see the bottom of my boat. Plus, you're paying attention to somebody other than me. How dare you?
Right. Well, on that note, we might want to wrap up and let Alora get to spending all of her time and attention to Miss Mina before our show becomes as long as an AEW pay-per-view, which is about 5 hours.
Ladies, thank you so much for having me on this show.
Yes, thank you for coming on. And I just want to say thank you for all that you did for wrestling. And I can't wait to see your book and whatever the future holds for you. I'm so glad we get the chance to, hang out and talk, and it's just so fun sitting under your learning tree because I know you have a ton of stories and good advice, and so
I appreciate that. My son's tired of hearing me. I need another outlet. Ladies, thank you for having
absolutely.
me on tonight.
It's always been a pleasure having you, and of course, anytime.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to have you.
Let's do this real quick before you go.
Okay.
All right, this is my handmade jewelry. That is buffalo bone and turquoise. If you look on my neck, now this one's not for sale at any price. This is a megalodon tooth.
Wow.
And I made the wrap and the necklace itself. And I don't only do Indian jewelry. This is one of my favorites.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. And like I'm getting ready to do right now, I make jewelry to your specifications. And I've actually learned to make earrings and bracelets, which the last time I was on the show, I wasn't doing that yet. And then the necklace and the chokers. So hit me up at the www. Where is it? There it is. I had it on the site. There's my information right there. Take a
screenshot.
Yep, screenshot.
You knew I lost that, right? That's my Facebook page and so on and so forth. Give me a call. Hit me up on Facebook. If you want a piece of jewelry made, if I can make it, I will.
All right. Oh,
you
go ahead.
You guys need to stick with these two ladies because I have both times now I have had a ball talking to them. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
You're
and guys,
welcome.
yes, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Peaches and Power Bombs on Facebook and YouTube, because the more you guys watch, the better our guests get. And I don't know if we can get any better than Princess Victoria, but
I know, right? and to Princess Victoria, there is quite a bit of your matches on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, go ahead, because I'm telling you, I was like, man, I can't believe, I felt like you were underrated. I was like, she's so good.
Right.
Well,
I was like, I wish I was a Gen Xer because I could have grown up watching this kind of women's wrestling instead of the one we got.
What you've got to understand is I was only in wrestling for 4 years.
Yeah.
Before I broke my neck. And that's what some people have a problem with it, but they're very few and far between. And if I could wrestle today, I'd be right back there in a heartbeat.
Oh, I know.
I mean, that was a world. It's its own separate entity. It is, and I've got memories to take me to my grave from wrestling. And
yeah.
Ladies, I appreciate you having me on tonight. Please have a good night and stay safe, everybody.
Yes.
Mother Nature is on a rampage. Stay safe.
Yes. Very much so. Okay, well, I have a show Wednesday afternoon at 4:30 right here on Peaches and Power Bombs, where my co-host Ray All Day and we go over the AEW shows. We'll be talking all about the marathon pay-per-view that was Sunday night, and all of that going into. And then I think Thursday, Alora and I will be back to catch up on Elimination Chamber and the road to WrestleMania and all of the things in modern.
And our friend Jamie will be on that night.
Okay, that's right. I forgot we had a special guest that night too. Sorry, it's been crazy. Okay, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see y'all next time. Stay peachy.
Bye.
Good night, sweet peach. It's time to go. Good night, sweet peach. It's the end of the show. We hate to leave, but we really can't stay. So good night, sweet peach. Good night.